Well, good morning. It's day 3 of working on the Sling Shot Sheath Utility Pouch knife sheath thingy. I'm at a point of decision making for a couple different things. So I just wanted to let you guys know I didn't time lapse the entire sewing process because it was pretty laborious. How do you say that? Laborious. It was pretty laborious. And it was very stressful on my hands and stuff. Being very cold, I don't know if anybody's sewn with their hands frozen. I decided to take it inside and get under a blankie with a fire in front of the TV and just sew that way where it was warm. I've got it pretty much sewn together, and I'll show it to you here. It's actually kind of nifty. It's pretty hard. I still got to put on the fire starter sheath on the side, get the corners sewn up. But I mean, there you can see it. You can see inside. It's actually, there's quite a bit of space. It's literally about the size of my hand. I have pretty big hands, and my palm actually stretches out the leather. So, but it's a good pouch, you know, like especially if you wanted to put like a first aid kit inside of it, some shot for the slingshot, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, your phone, just so you don't lose it, you know. But it's coming out pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. So, but the decision making I have today is whether I'm going to use a nub, which I made a mistake and I didn't measure quite properly the flap because it's so hard. So because the leather is still quite hard, you know, trying to get the flap to lay flat on top of that right now and then bend down that hole where I have for the nub is going to be basically just at the very end of this leather, and then there's a potential for a rip, and no one wants that to happen. So I think what I would like to do is actually just sew a button, and I'm deciding if I want to use bone. So this is deer antler. I was thinking about using like these, here's a good piece. These pieces, you know, still got, you know, all the points and stuff on the parts that were near the skull. But, you know, compared to the size of the pouch, that's pretty big. And I don't know how well you guys will be able to see this, but it's also pretty thick. Let me see if I can maybe hold that there and turn it down. It's pretty thick. You know, that might scratch up and interfere with the slingshot itself. So I have a kind of an odd looking piece here. It's just, and what I'm thinking about doing is sanding that down to a kind of a smaller circle. I want it, or even oval, it doesn't matter, but I do want it still big enough because if I put a button on here, what I'm going to wind up doing is taking some lace, some Kodiak lace, and poking a hole so you can flip it over and you can just wrap the lace around it and it holds it closed. And I think that's probably what I'm going to wind up doing. Now I got to figure out this. The other thing I have to figure out is I made the fire starter sheath, but that hole, and that fire starter is just a little too tight. So what I did off camera a few moments ago is I just sprayed a bunch of water inside of it, and I'm just now starting to kind of mold that. I'm actually using a rivet setter here to get it easier because this is a little bit smaller diameter than that is. And so I'm just kind of having to do a step thing. But then I also need to figure out how I want to attach that. I thought about sewing it, you know, butterflying this open and then sewing it the other side. Not a fan of that. It's doing like the knife sheath side is doing some funky stuff to the leather here, but I mean, it's going to be okay, especially once I get the knife in there. But so what I might wind up doing is just using a long punch and maybe cutting this down, but just punching the side of the pouch here, popping that inside and riveting it. So. right, there she is, all loaded up. So you can see the slingshot in here, secure. Got your ferro rod over here, and you got your Benchmade. Let me get some light here. Your Benchmade knife secured in here. I'm actually, like I said, pretty pleased with this. What's kind of cool too is, like, you know, so if you're out just hunting squirrels, you got your knife, or you know, to grab its tail, and you got your ferro rod in case you want to build a little fire because you got cold, or you know, maybe it's a late fall and you just want to warm up your hands before you take the little squirrel tail that you harvested with your pretty amazing slingshot here. And then, you know, if you accidentally like cut your finger or something, maybe you could put a what do you call it, first aid kit inside of it, and you have access to that too. And you know, your phone's all secured, and you know, it's freeing up your entire body because you don't have to like carry this over your shoulder. You just wear it on your belt and secure it to your leg. It's pretty nifty. So with that, sorry if there's any like weird audio issues, or this tripod thing, I need to get a new one. And I probably should have used my other camera. But anyway, I know I haven't posted a lot of videos. They will come slowly. It's just during the fall. As you guys can probably imagine, I get quite busy. So, and then throughout the year, this year, I've been really, really busy. So I'll try to make more videos for you guys. There's a series I would like to make for my nephew, and I was thinking about calling it Lessons for Jack. And he's curious and willing to learn about leather making, but he lives out of state. And so, you know, for his birthday, I bought him a deluxe leathercraft kit that you could get from Tandy, and I've been sending him some of my scraps, so he has something to work with. And but he was like, you know, hey, Uncle Josh, how do you do this or do that? And so I've been explaining it to him, and I'm like, you know, I should really just make some videos on how to do just very basic, very simple things, just very short videos, like sub 5-minute videos or something like that. Just that way, you know, he could learn, but also you guys can learn how to do this stuff too. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is going up to Cascadia Cutlery, and this will be for sale on his website. And I believe it's going to be for sale with all the fixins. So the slingshot, the Benchmade knife, and the ferro rod. And you never know with Nolan up there. He may even throw in a couple other goodies. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, and click the bell button if you would like to get notified on more of my videos in the future. Thanks. Bye.